Your Old Toys Show. Bring anything. If you're a creature, hammerhead, a Rhodian. We accept all things here except the droids. We don't like those droids here in this cantina in Mos Eisley. We don't want the droids here, but if you're a humanoid, an alien, or a human, we'll accept you here. But we don't like those clankers. But let's move on from that. And the the biggest piece of news for the channel is that we got a new logo, all thanks to the Star Wars daddy over there. So if you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. It's worth a look. And, well, that's that. The other thing is with summer here, I know it's finally here once again. And there's just going to be on weeks and off weeks, a lot more vacations, but also a lot more off time. So videos will not be slowing down, still the 5 videos a week. Heck, I might even give you a few extra minutes a week. And by that I mean longer videos. So that'll be all good. And heck, with the more hours, I'll give you more live streams like this one. So this summer, there's going to be a lot more additions to the Your Old Toys show, where we just talk all things Star Wars, whether it's modern, toy related, comics even. I'll talk comics, anything really. So that is that bit. In other words, they're, and I'm not straight sure on this one, but I'm pretty sure that it's late, guys. It is late, but I had a free minute, so we're jumping on. In other words, there is supposedly going to be a sequel to Starfighter. I'm not sure on that. Hey, Starfighter, it sounds like a great movie, but is it going to be better as a one-off, or is it going to be better as a trilogy? We shall find out. So that's next May, a little less than a year out. But hey, we gotta we gotta get over the Mandalorian and Grogu. It came so fast, and it's gotta wait. No breaks from Star Wars. It's all gas. And there's that. So, as expected, nobody has really been jumping on here, but it's really late, and it feels like an eternity that I've been talking, but it really only has been 4 minutes, so for viewers that are going to be watching this after, I know there is a loyal few that will. I'm just gonna kind of jump on in. Now that we've gotten the news. Oh, one other thing. Um, so as we move into summer months, and just great times. I know. Like I said, I'll be here and gone, Here a week, gone a week, here a couple weeks, gone another week. So it's just gonna be madness over here. As that happens, you should expect there to be a handful more live streams, and because I'm not at school all day, I can do live streams in the day, and it'll just be pretty nice. And like I said, I'm pretty close to getting a whole plan out for the 24-hour. Oh, I'm yawning. I apologize for that. But I am very close to getting a date selected for the 24-hour live stream. And it's going to be a day. I can tell you that much. It is going to be a day when that happens. So I'm thinking I'll start roughly noon, sleep extra long that night, get to bed probably 9, sleep till 11, and then just crush it through the night. And what I've been learning is that there's less and less people on as we go through the night. So if I jump on at 12, we'll have the bulk of the viewers kind of up front, and then they'll fade off. And then about 3 a.m. when it's getting, 2, 3 a.m., once we're through that time of night where everybody's asleep and yeah, speaking of sleep, here's another yawn. So everybody will be asleep, and then once we get to about 3 a.m., it'll be 6 o'clock on the East Coast. People will start waking up, turning on their devices, maybe gain a couple new subs. And then we'll kind of close it with a crusher, and of course there'll be some people that say go 48 hours, 48, but the 48's a little too much for me, if you know what I mean. And then we'll end it at about noon, and then I just gotta take a quick power nap and find out some way to crush in the rest of the day. But yeah, I do want to do it. And it'll have to be a weekend, I believe. Because I do have some things earlier in the mornings. We'll see. It'll come. And I would expect that around 4th of July week. Well, we'll see as the date gets closer. When it would be most convenient for me. So there is that. And Last 17 wise, I've got 2 of them. So there is that. 2 Last 17 figures. Of course I have Anakin Skywalker, because if you can only get one figure from the Last 17 and you're just trying to get the cheapest one, then you gotta get Anakin Skywalker. Before I had Hammerhead, Anakin Skywalker was my bartender. So that's actually a true story. So there was that. And our videos have actually been doing very great. And we had a great streak, and then Forlom had to come in and drop a big fat deuce all over it and just ruin the streak with 7 views. Because the internet is not smart enough to know who Forlom is. So Forlom ruined our good streak, but we are certainly making up for it today with the with the what did the AT-AT trip on. So that video is doing good. Forlom, of course, though nobody knows who Forlom is. Nobody really cares. So should have picked a better figure. Although next Thursday, and I am gone, so I have to have all the videos preloaded, which that's not a big problem because it's what I have been doing all school year. Except I have them all recorded. So after this live stream, I'll get on, just spam upload them. I do gotta make a couple more thumbnails. Not too many more. And then I think that's it. We've been on for 11 minutes. Feels like an eternity. I can only imagine what 24 hours is gonna do to me. I've done probably 30 hours of just straight awake before, and if you have not done it, it is those last hours you just want to get to bed so bad. But that 24 is not a big problem. It's once you exceed probably 26. I was 28, maybe, yeah, about 28 hours. So that's where it kind of starts to really feel like you're dragging it. That's why we're not going over 24 hours on a stream. And we'll go a couple minutes over, but not much more than that. And what else? We may gain some subs from the stream afterwards. Tomorrow there will be another stream. Oh yeah, there's always more. Always more. So tomorrow there will be another stream. Earlier in the afternoon. Because I'll go on an afternoon bike ride. Just kind of cruise around town for a little bit. Then once I get tired enough of riding my bike and say, hey, I think it's time to come back in. And hey, we got a viewer. Thank you very much for spending the late night with us here at Your World Toys. So, cruise around town for a little bit and then love Smallhead Han. Oh yeah. Yeah, Smallhead Han, he's my, well, I'm not going to say all-time favorite, but he is one of my favorites. It's morning here, buddy. Oh, where are you at? Europe, I would guess. It's almost 1 in the morning here. Oh, Netherlands, yeah, Europe. Yeah, no, I'm doing a late night stream. Matter of fact, I was just talking about the 24-hour stream that I'm going to put on this summer. So there is that. Just 24 hours of Star Wars, just non-stop. We're going to hit all the time zones. Say good morning to everybody and good night to everybody. And I've stayed awake for 30 hours before. And those last few hours, really enjoying your videos. Big Star Wars fan myself and probably your dad's age. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that Chewbacca. That was from my dad's collection. And, of course, the rifle's not. You mentioned that you got a lot of your toys from him, right? Well, in what you're looking at right now, the Chewbacca is the only original thing from my dad's collection. That you're looking at, I do have more, such as the Millennium Falcon, that removable MC-3PO, and yes, that Bespin Han. So a lot, not as well. At this point, it's kind of a minuscule amount, but it's still definitely there. And that battle damage TIE fighter, that's also from him. So yeah, no the but at first that was the only stuff I had, and this was lead up to COVID. That's cool. You inherited his toys and passion. Oh yeah. So lead up to COVID, I didn't really know what I was doing, so of course I assumed that that was it, and that there was nothing else because he had no card backs, no catalogs. The only thing he had that was kind of like that was the Falcon box. And fortunately, he had everything to the Falcon except the little hatch. And then COVID hits like a stone wall. We all remember it. And all of a sudden, I have nothing to do. So that's really kind of what kicked off the hobby for me. Because I already had some building blocks. And then we just built off of that. And then I discovered YouTube and the internet, and I discovered so much more. And yeah, and I still don't have it all. And I have been actively collecting for since 20, so for 5 years now. No, 2019, so for 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. Those late winter days. That's what started it all. Just come back from a Disneyland trip, watched Force Awakens, and just oh, the Millennium Falcon's pretty cool. Great to hear that. Wish my sons would like the toys from back in the day. Good to hear you keep going. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I will not stop until I have them all. Falcon is awesome. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I've got the Imperial Shuttle. That's It's a little overrated. It's a great display piece, don't get me wrong, but for a toy, I collect a lot of 80s toy lines. Yeah, I have a handful of G.I. Joes. Not really much. I would collect more, but sold the shuttle, yeah. It's a big piece. I mean, but yeah, no. So it yellowed bad, yeah, no. Mine, it's not too yellowed, but it's definitely by no means is it not yellowed. But 100% complete, so that's good. And bought a sealed AT-AT. Oh, I wish I could have that. Looks good, yeah. I have an AT-AT missing the chin guns, of course. And let's see. The tape fell off. Oh, well, you know. That tape it's fallen off every box. And I decided to open it. Well, you know, if the tape's falling off, is there really much you can do? Oh yeah. Yeah, no. All of my boxes that have that tape, the way it goes is the tape's either pristine or it's just hanging on by, a thread. Never seen a AT-AT as nice as that. Oh yeah, nothing like fresh out of the box. Nothing like it. And since I have never gotten the chance to open a Kenner Star Wars figure, I've been looking into getting a figure on just the worst possible card you can imagine, just to get that sensation of opening it. So, like, we're talking the card has been kicked down the street, run over by the neighbor's pickup truck, and somehow the bubble is still attached. And so we're just talking the worst possible condition. And just so I can get you know, and of course I'll record it, and there'll be people that oppose me, but you know, if it's in that bad of a if it's in that bad of condition, I'd rather look at a pristine figure than look at a horrible card. And that is why I do not buy horrible cards. In fact, all of the cards that I own look, well, of course, camera's pretty there, but they look something like that. Or maybe like this. Those need to be opened, but if the card is bad, open it. It's your toy. It's your toy, right? Oh, yeah. So, like that. Or, maybe a little something like this. So I buy mint. When it comes to card backs, I'm a little more picky because, I like the little. Oh, cool. Yeah. I like to see the little color back that they have, and I just will not buy a card that has that ripped off. The blister line doesn't really bother me. It's more so the kind of pillbox that would bother me if that's just all gone. And if you know who Tom Burgess is at iGrewUpStarWars.com, his YouTube channel, he's got a 365 subscribers, so about 100 more than I have. But he's from the same part of the country that I am. And so he vacationed at the same spots that I do. Of course, he's still alive, but he did a video on. It's actually kind of funny that total coincidence that he's from the West Coast. But yeah, no, Wallowa Lake. I'm going there the following week. But anyways, I bring that up because he did a video of him playing Star Wars there with his toys and stuff like that. But one of his videos is, and this is 12 years ago. Well, of course, it's just an old video from when he was a kid opening a R2D2 solid dome on an Empire Strikes Back card and just opening it, at a lunch by the lake. But yeah, no. So there are videos out there of that kind of stuff. But yeah, Tom Burgess, I would definitely go check him out at iGrewUpStarWars.com or the iGrewUpStarWars.com YouTube channel. So check either one of those out because they really are amazing, and they do definitely, even if you are in a distant land on a whole nother continent, they do definitely bring back memories of at least opening the Star Wars figures or just playing with them, because that's really what that whole YouTube channel is about. As well as, excuse me, as well as just, kind of this. The website, though, that's really worth checking out. Because that website, you can get on their email list and email them pictures from when you were a kid. And that website's just full of everybody's photos of them. Just Christmas mornings, opening Star Wars stuff. That's everything. You know, vintage and, you know, vintage, modern. If it's Star Wars, he'll put it on there. And so, of course, there's all the 80s kids, but what I was, just kind of shocked to find out was how many kids my age actually do care about this stuff. Because, yeah, it's at least after what Disney's done to it, Star Wars isn't respected as much as it once was. It's for sure definitely still prominent, but, you know, you know, people aren't just going, "Oh wow, Star Wars! Wait, what's the newest information? Oh my God!" And there's none of that anymore. It's just like, "Oh, cool! There's a new Star Wars movie out. We'll go see it in a couple of weeks or when it comes out." It's not respected as much as it once was, but um, it's still there. It's definitely not fading, but well, what it's really doing is it's just kind of moving down the, you know, pop culture leaderboard, if you know what I mean. So there's a little bit of that going on, and so, but yeah, no, just seeing all the kids with, maybe not as rare stuff, keep doing the vids, buddy. Oh yeah, they will not slow down. I will watch. Oh yeah, yeah, no, I have to go. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. I probably should wrap it up since, but hey, you're from Europe, so, it's good to know where the viewers are from, and I'll I'll do a special, you know, I've done some videos of featuring stuff from Europe before, but I'll find something real special from Europe and do a video on that. Not next week cuz I already have all of that stuff filmed, but you know, in the coming weeks I'll do a special video of something rare and exotic that us Americans don't really know about, that Europeans are like, oh, that's, that's as common as a Admiral Akbar to you, that it's exotic, foreign to us here in the States. So I'll find something special. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like the live stream. And yeah. So, it's been nice having a viewer. I was, earlier on in the stream I was like, "Oh, all the viewers will be on tomorrow," which I know Jedi Knight will be on here tomorrow. Oh yeah, it was nice. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending your early morning to you, but late night for me. Let's see what time it is. Oh, almost 1 here on the West Coast. Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you. We always love having viewers. That's what there, with no viewers there is no show. And, if I didn't see you hop on, I would have ended it at 20 minutes. But, we're going good. We'll go another 10 at least. We'll see if we get somebody else on here. But yeah. So there was that. When my new toy room is set up, I will do a new video. Alright, well, I'll look forward to watching that. And I don't think I have checked out your content, but I'll give it a check out. Or maybe I've seen a few things from you, but not many, so that'll be another project for me tonight. So yeah, there is that. And oh yeah. Yeah, I'll check some of your stuff out, leave you a few comments. You know, you are always showing up. Leave a comment if you want. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, but no, you're always showing up on top viewers, so, you know, appreciate you, man. It is very much appreciated. So, yeah, road to 500 subscribers. It's going to happen. You know, we are what 37 away from our goal this year of 300. So, we're going to hit 300 this year. All right, later. See ya. So yeah, I'm gonna hit 300 subscribers this year. You know, we're what, halfway through the year. I've gained over 150 new subscribers. This is the best year in the channel's history. The most views, the most gained subscribers, and the fastest growing rate, the most live streams, the highest rate of video output, 5 videos a week since last November, and yeah, so, you know, we are moving, and we are moving good. This channel is, you know, we were, you know, the first couple of years we were on the taxiway, you know, just kind of learning the ropes, you know, just kind of slowly cruising along, you know, picking up a subscriber here or there. And then now this year, we're, you know, on the runway, you know, listening to air traffic control. You know, we've hit the throttle, but we have not yet lifted off. We are not yet taking off, right? So the throttle has been pushed, the brakes are released. We're gaining momentum right now. That's the stage we're in. And then, you know, I'm not going to say not this year, but most likely not this year. You know, it would be an absolute dream for me if we hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but it could happen. You know, if we get a handful of solid videos, which solid as of now, it's like 100 views. So that's what I consider solid as of June 2026. And then, yeah, no. So, it's been a great night. So, I think we're gonna start to kind of wrap up this show. Right? It's been great. It's been an honor. So, let's kind of start hitting the show notes. If you are watching tomorrow, we appreciate you. You know, at least tuning in because we are on very late. Well, but early for us here is very late for the Europeans. So, you know, it is what it is. So, we were on pretty late for the viewers in the States, Canada, Central America, South America even. We were on very late. And so thank you. We appreciate you if you're watching tomorrow. Or just whenever you're watching. We appreciate you watching. Alright? Or at least I appreciate you watching. And the World Toys community appreciates you watching. So let's get the show notes tuned up. Alright. So, shout out to Soundwave NL 1977. Shout out to you. You're doing great. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for all the comments. Getting the show just a little bit more energy was great. And I know we didn't have any, but shout out to all the moderators who help keep the chat clean. No, thankfully we did not have any trolls on here tonight. We gotta watch out for them. And shout out to all of these subscribers that help motivate the channel and help signal to YouTube that Your Old Toys truly is one of the greatest Star Wars YouTube channels that is on the YouTube platform. But that's really it. If you haven't already, and you just would love to see more Star Wars, amazing Star Wars content like this, and just, have a chance to chat with us here on our next live stream, and so YouTube knows to feed you Your Old Toys videos, please remember to like the live stream and subscribe to the channel. And we will talk again soon.
I grew up with Star Wars, living life like a kid, and many years later I found my Hoth base, buried in a box, vintage figures hidden in a case, from the Death Star to Echo Base, to the asteroids and Yavin Base. Star Wars is cool, and that's a fact, but there's a fan out there, and he's covering it all. And Your Old Toys is running the show, and he's a Your Old Toys, and that's all I know. And Your Old Toys has come so far from a Star Wars collector to a YouTube star, and I'm coming back to Star Wars because he is a Your Old Toys, and that's all I know. And Your Old Toys is running the show, and they're calling you back to Star Wars because Your Old Toys are running the show. Shout out to all the subscribers that want to see him grow, and from Tatooine sand to Hoth's cold ground, Endor's force spinning all around. Your Old Toys running the show, and that's the only life you will ever know. And he's a Your Old Toys, and that's all I know. Your Old Toys is running the show. I am coming to Star Wars again because he's Your Old Toys, and that's all I know. And if you're looking for a stream, there is no plan B. Your Old Toys has got you covered. If there was a guy that said, do you want to see my Star Wars collection? I am trying to spread my knowledge on the subject. I know a guy, his name is Your Old Toys. Do not confuse him with my new toys. And he's a Your Old Toys, and that's all I know. Your Old Toys is running the show, and I am coming back to Star Wars because he is a Your Old Toys, and that's all It's all